Hey guys, I hope you're doing great. I just want to welcome you back and thank you for all the effort you've been putting in learning. The effort will not be in vain. Every single time that you spend, even if it's just a few minutes practicing every day, you're going to be getting better at math. And what would make me so happy is if you take your test and you improve your grade. Or let's say you're not doing well and you were to leave me a comment and say, Mr. Lada, I'm doing much better. Thank you for helping me with the content. I've been watching the videos and I've been improving. That would make me so happy because as a teacher, that's what I want. I want for you guys to be successful, to understand what you're learning, and hopefully these videos are helping you guys out. Okay. So today's lesson that we're gonna be focusing on is on it's gonna be on absolute value. And absolute value is pretty much the distance of a point on a number line from zero. And we got to remember that the absolute value of any number is always positive, okay? And so I'm going to be doing some examples here. And the reason why the absolute value is always positive is because the absolute value is how far away a number is from zero. So let's begin by plotting these 2 points here. We have -5 and 5. So I'm going to put -5 right here. And then over here, I'm going to put +5. So if we were to measure how far away each one of these numbers is from zero on the number line, beginning with this one, this is how many units away from zero? +5. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could say that this is 5 units from zero. And again, this is measuring the distance from any number on a number line from zero. Now, if we were to look at -5, we're measuring distance, and distance is only measured in positive units. So let's see, how far away is -5 from zero? Well, let's count them. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could say that -5 is also 5 units, positive units from zero. And the absolute value of a number is taken, or it's seen through these lines right here. You guys see these straight lines right there? Whenever you see these straight lines, they're asking you, in other words, how far away is that number from zero? So how far away is -5 from zero? Well, we counted. We said that it was 5 positive units. So the absolute value of, excuse me, of -5 is equivalent to 5. Now the absolute value of 5, how far away is 5 from zero on the number line? And we said it was also 5 positive units. So the absolute value of 5 is equal to 5. And again, how do we know it's talking about absolute value? Well, you usually see these 2 lines. And in 6th and 7th grade, absolute value this is probably as far as you'll go. But later on, when you take those upper level math classes, you'll start seeing them in vectors and you start getting into the fun stuff. But for now, you have to remember is that the absolute value is how far away a number is from zero on the number line. And also, you got to remember that it's always positive. The reason why it's always positive is because distance is measured in positive units all the time in math. Okay, and so I just want to go over some misconceptions that students usually make when we're talking about absolute value. And the absolute value is not the opposite of a number, because I tend to see that a lot, that students will think the absolute value of 13 is -13. It's the opposite. No, it is not the opposite of a number. The absolute value, according to what we just learned right now, is always, all the time, positive. Okay? So if we were to ask this question, the absolute value of 13, how far away is 13? How far away is it from a number? How many units? It would be +13. If we were to ask how many, I'm sorry, I had to put here not. So this is not what it is. If you guys were to put -13, that the absolute value of 13 is equivalent to -13, this right here would be wrong. What's correct is that the absolute value of 13 is equivalent to 13. Okay? Why? Because the absolute value is not the opposite of a number. It's just how far away a number is from zero, and you will always get a positive answer. if you guys were to put that the absolute value of 6 is equivalent to negative 6 because you're thinking that it's the opposite, this right here is wrong. This is not correct. You don't want to do this. What the absolute value of 6 is equivalent to 6 because 6 on a number line is 6 units away from 0. So these two are correct and these two are wrong. So I just wanted to go over that because we tend to mix those up. Every year, I always have some students that will think that the absolute value of a number is referring to the opposite, and that's not correct. The absolute value of a number is always positive. Okay, so just to finish off, I'm going to go over a few more examples. And if you feel like you've got this, go ahead and pause the video and try some on your own. It's actually very easy, with the exception of these on the right side, because I got to explain something about these negatives being outside of our absolute value. So the absolute value of 10 is equivalent to 10, right? Because 10 is 10 units away from 0 on a number line. The absolute value of negative 10, what do you guys think that is? That's also equivalent to 10. The absolute value of 4, remember it's always positive. How far away is 4 from on a number line from 0? It would be 4 units away. How far away is negative 4? That would also be 4 units away. So do you guys see that the absolute value is always positive all the time? Okay? But now you might see something that looks like this, and I've seen it in some of the workbooks that my students have, and they'll put the absolute value, your lines here, and they put the number inside, but then you'll have the negative on the outside. So what I tell my students is, we're not really necessarily changing what we learned about absolute value, because the absolute value of 10 is equivalent to 10. It's always positive. But since the negative, it's outside of our lines, that means we're just going to have to carry it over here and put it right in the front. Okay? And again, the reason why we ended up with a negative answer is because our negative sign was not inside the absolute value, these lines right here. Do you guys see how over here the negative's inside? Well, over here the negative's not inside, it's actually on the outside. So we're just going to carry it over once we take the absolute value of what's inside. Same thing over here. What's the absolute value of negative 10? Well, the absolute value of negative 10 is positive 10, but we got to carry over that negative sign because it's outside of our lines. So that would be equal to negative 10. Okay? Now, why are these different here from this example over here? It's simply because the negative sign is outside of our lines, which means that we're only taking the absolute value of what's in the inside, and what's in the inside is negative 10. Now, whatever's on the outside, we're not taking the absolute value of that. We're just going to kind of carry it over. The absolute value of negative 12, you guys want to pause the video and try these two on your own? That would be positive 12. And what would the absolute value of negative 13 be? That would be positive 13. Well, I hope these videos are helping you guys. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you need clarification, you didn't understand something, leave me a comment. I'll try getting back to you as soon as I can. Subscribe to my YouTube channels if this is helping you, and give me a thumbs up. Okay, we'll see you guys next time.